Thank you, Honorable Dias. My fellow delegates, to New Zealand, disaster risk reduction is a human right that warrants an urgent and responsive reaction from everyone. That being said, we encourage everyone to take ownership of all their disaster risk reduction projects through regional partnerships. We must put an emphasis on having a balance between efficiency and building national capacity for every nation to continue developing at a rate that is good for that nation and not what everyone thinks is good for that nation. We specifically want to focus on instituting initiatives that encourage the return of people to, even though the area may be disaster prone, we want to encourage people to continue developing in that area so enterprises can thrive and we can all be prepared for future disasters. And physical building safety is critical in that. We will be working outside later, and we would encourage people who have ideas in terms of technology sharing, infrastructure specifically, and any ideas about water sanitation to come talk to us later. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
New Zealand, I grant you the floor for 90 seconds.
Honorable Dias and esteemed fellow delegates, New Zealand is proud to be a part of such extensive collaboration to strengthen the capacity of host nations. To play our part in solving this global dilemma, New Zealand has increased the number of quota refugees we intend to accept throughout 2016 by 400%. We've accomplished such success by enhancing our refugee resettlement strategy through increased financial allocation and infrastructural development. Throughout these informal caucuses, New Zealand has participated in drafting working papers that address social and economic strategies for integration of refugees in host countries, working diligently with nations such as France, the United Kingdom, Ireland, Spain, Azerbaijan, and Australia. We have also expressed interest in developing resolutions that emphasize the importance of increasing financial contributions to the UNHCR, collaborating with Peru, China, Russia, and Armenia. Lastly, New Zealand has progressed up the topic by identifying transit countries as short-term host countries, working closely with Nicaragua, Mexico, Costa Rica, and Cyprus. As a fair-minded multilateralist, we remind the body to hear the voices of all states, large states and small states, developed states and developing, just as New Zealand has done throughout the caucuses. We are eager to move forward in the process of merging working papers so the UNHCR can ultimately create comprehensive and collaborative resolutions to address the issue at hand. New Zealand invites fellow delegates to juxtapose their working papers with ours to facilitate this merging process. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate.
Thank you, Honorable Dias and distinguished delegates. There are currently over 191 inhabited islands on our planet, New Zealand included. This number does not show the vast amount of states with coastal borders. Many speak about border security in relationship to transnational organized crime. But what do we do when our only borders are the waters that surround us? New Zealand is currently working with other small island and coastal states, South Africa, and the states in the West African region to protect our maritime borders through increased security, law enforcement, training, and capacity building. Most of the nations that we are partnering with do not have the ability to protect their ports from the illicit trafficking of arms and drugs. So, please, we ask for support from the General Assembly First Committee to protect your exotic vacation destinations from transnational organized crime. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you, Honorable Dias. My fellow delegates, first and foremost, New Zealand would like to acknowledge and commend the efficient collaboration that is happening among the members of this body. We have been closely working with our neighboring countries of Australia and Papua New Guinea, in addition to many of our fellow island nations, to collaborate on this issue that is close to our hearts and crucial to our future. As a committed multilateralist, we look forward to serving as a liaison between working groups as mergers are made, to make effective initiatives on regulation, innovation, and prevention on regional and international levels.
In our multilateral approach, New Zealand has noticed the trend of engagement and cooperation. While negotiating on a financial structure with Bhutan and Sao Tome and Principe, our working paper has already merged with another forwarded by Kiribati and the Dominican Republic, focusing on a structure for prevention and education. Along these lines, my co-delegate has worked arduously with Finland, Georgia, and the UK to improve conditions on regulation, innovation, and prevention. It is with the spirit of this assembly that New Zealand proclaims, along with the 6 nations, no more plastics to our oceans. Thank you, and thank you for giving us 30 seconds of your time to give this message. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate.
New Zealand would like to call attention to 2 working groups at the moment. First, we're promoting access to renewable energy through innovative technology and state-backed public-private partnerships, in particular expanding the Smart Cities framework. As a fair-minded multilateralist, we believe that working together yields the best results. Therefore, if you'd like to work with us or know more about our ideas, meet us by this speaker during the next suspension.
Further, we draw attention to work on a comprehensive plan to build renewable energy infrastructure in developing states. This plan is grounded in past energy initiatives, education awareness, and micro and macro level funding. We encourage member states to seek us out if you wish to contribute to this work. We applaud the efforts of this community and hope that our work will pave the way for a better future for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you, Honorable Dais and fellow delegates. New Zealand urges this committee to make preventing the outbreak of conflict a key issue over the next few days. We recognize that regional peacekeeping forces can provide valuable information on emerging threats in potential areas of conflict. By inviting the Secretariat and the Security Council to increase communication with regional groups, we can facilitate peaceful resolution of conflicts before they begin.
New Zealand also urges member states to support participation of women in peacekeeping operations. We have initiated programs to increase recruitment of women in New Zealand's defense forces and police forces. We also strongly encourage the promotion of women to senior level positions within the UN systems to let more people hear their voices.
As a committed multilateralist, we look forward to working with all member states. Our working group has recently merged with another group, and now we are under the title Group F. So please work with us in this corner of the room if you're interested. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate.
Is next on the speaker list, followed by India and the Republic of Korea. New Zealand, you now have the floor for 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, fellow delegates. New Zealand would like to stress the importance of using technology at our disposal. New technology is both a problem and solution. We must implement a technology that is both effective and sustainable to allow developing nations to adopt accordingly. We believe integrating microdot technology and RFID technology, highlighting the key functions of both for effective tracking mechanisms.
As a strong proponent for multilateral solutions to the problems at hand, New Zealand emphasizes the inevitability of resolution merging. Do not approach merging as a way to replace one resolution with another, but a way of joining like-minded groups to create consensus. This is the spirit of the conference, and this is why we are here. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Next on the speakers list is India, followed by Republic of Korea and Oman.
Delegate from New Zealand, you have the floor for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Dais and my fellow delegates. Our government is committed to a multilateral approach to problem solving, something that we are trying to bring to the table when dealing with the issue of international terrorism as well. However, we believe that we must respect the regional and national differences in regards to terrorism. Echoing the sentiments of our colleague from Malaysia, it is true that what may work for our country may not work for another country, and that is why we are strongly advocating for a regionalized approach to examining long-term and short-term solutions to terrorism and the root causes of radicalization and extremism around the world. Additionally, in terms of radicalization, we believe that one of the most effective ways to quell radicalization around the world is through integration of marginalized groups into the larger society. It's something that we have striven for as a government with the inclusion of the Maori indigenous people in our country, integrating their culture and many other aspects of their culture into our society, as well as making it easy for marginalized groups like migrants and immigrants to obtain working permits and visas. We believe that these policies can be adapted to address some of the most at-risk groups for radicalization, like youth aged 15 to 25, and migrants as well. And we would love to discuss further how to adapt this on a regional and international scale with all member states present in the body. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Delegate from China. All those in favor of a suspension of the meeting for 35 minutes, please raise your hands. All those opposed? This motion passes. We will meet again at 35 minutes. 35 minutes.
Council has already given authorization to use all means necessary. This provision exists without the creation of the proposed coalition that has yet to address the post-intervention plans that New Zealand and other countries have reiterated. New Zealand, with urgency, asks that the coalition acknowledge and respect the valid concerns of New Zealand and other small states. Institution building is a critical component of peace building, as asserted by this very council many times over. Working Paper C, written by Nigeria, Malaysia, Venezuela, and others, proposes long-term solutions that offer benefits that will be felt worldwide by developing education programs that address radicalization and promote tolerance, as well as establishing diversionary programs for at-risk youth. We can make tangible changes now, as well as for the future generations. New Zealand does not prefer military action as its main choice. That being said, we are not against the coalition, but it is vital that the coalition paper address and acknowledge our concerns, as New Zealand and many other small states have repeated over and over again. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you, Delegate. New Zealand will have the floor for 90 seconds in favor, followed by Marshall Islands in opposition. Thank you, Honorable Chair and fellow delegates. As fair-minded multilateralists, New Zealand applauds the collaborative nature of the solutions offered in Resolution 1-3 and would like to draw special attention to Clause 7, encouraging member states to implement national action plans that will increase the number of women in peacekeeping operations. As the first nation to grant universal suffrage, we are a champion of women's roles in peacekeeping operations. This body has repeatedly affirmed the importance of women in missions, and New Zealand wholeheartedly supports this notion. Thank you. Thank you, Delegate. Finally, we will have Marshall Islands, 90 seconds.